What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is March 18th, 2020. We're back again on the charts, and what a great 24 hours for us. Basically, every setup discussed yesterday in the live session is in profit. Pretty much every setup, so that's cool. And the portal is working. I'm just gonna do a quick test, and it should be showing me live. And yes, it does. Awesome. So portal's up. What is up? And let everyone know on the community discussion. Hey guys, portal is up and we are live. I hope you guys are well. Despite the market movement, I missed a lot of it. It's been portal is back up. So the only trade I benefited from was Aussie dollar and US oil. The other ones, I didn't get the entry during the day. I was busy doing stuff, and then at night I was asleep. But Aussie dollar, phenomenal. So we'll check the 4 hour, try to dissect this thing. So, our entry was a bit rough. Some drawdown. We got around maybe around 40 pips in drawdown. But I knew, this thing was going to drop. It just took some time. So let's take a look at the actual signal and we'll break it down. So yesterday, sell at 0.59775. For some reason, TradingView is not saving my charts, even if I take a snapshot of it. So I have had to manually plot down the take profits again. But where did it go? 0.59775. Okay, there was our entry. Okay, and he's doing this, but I think our trade idea looks something like this, and then our downside target was here. I know our R2R was much better than this, and then I'm getting it credit for maybe something like this. You're gonna have to bear with me, but anyways. Right now it's at 0.58600, and you can see our entry was at 0.597715. So we're up around 110 pips, which is pretty good. I actually have to enter another position just because my second runner got hit on take profit. And you can see we have ways to go, so I'm actually going to enter another position before a huge movement happens. So pretty simple trade. I mean, you're just trading with the trend, not really trying to call any bottoms or tops or patterns that you may see. It's going to be hard to kind of find that when you're in such a bear market. Let me just enter this position before I forget. So this is entered. Alright, so cool. Yeah, not much else to say. 110 pips like that. And then the next setup that was discussed, which I missed, was Euro dollar and NSD USD. So let's look at Euro dollar. Similar story. And, wow. Look at this thing. It's melting as we speak. So let's see how many hours ago this is. 11, 10, 9, and 8 a.m. is when we got the entry for Euro USD. If we look for Euro, we know the 1 hour closure is sufficient enough. And you can see this candle, very little wick to the bottom or top. And once you get this, you virtually enter in a very little drawdown entry. Since entry, we're currently up, 70-ish pips, 70 pips right there. So, I mean, this thing started off at 8 a.m. and actually had to head over to the doctor's, so I couldn't be there to kind of look at this, but nice 70 pip movement, and it's going to continue to go to our target of 0.07. So it's halfway there. Unfortunately, since I missed it, I'm not going to be entering it, but I did get in US oil and made some good gains, so it's just fine. But again, very simple analysis, trading with the trend, all price action based. So yeah. Usually our sessions are pretty short when we're in profit, so 110 plus 70, you're already up 180 for the week. I'm currently up maybe 100. I didn't get all of the movement. And then we got NSD USD. So if you missed any of these trade setups, just wait for maybe the next breach of this level, and I think that'll take probably until tomorrow for that to happen. So we'll talk about potential re-entry going short if we break this level tomorrow. But I mean, that's pretty good for a Monday, the gains we got. So done and dusted. NSD USD. Again, very similar trade setup. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame, and where did it go? Bearish closure, I meant below. Sorry about this. We guys probably know bearish closure below 0.59250 to go short. Specific tape was we sent to the. And if you look when the trade got activated, this was during the London session when I was getting my beauty sleep. But you guys know this is a nice bearish closure on the 4-hour time frame right here. And so once you enter here, you're actually just up 50 pips. So if the entry was here, this is the bearish closure on the 4-hour time frame at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And where did I put the stop loss? It's not saving my charts, so yep. And then take profits all the way down here. And after your little bearish closure on the 4-hour time frame, all you have to do is enter, virtually low drawdown, and you're up 46 pips. So I'm going to be looking to enter a pretty small position, just because it hasn't really made all of its full movement down. But I don't want to get stuck in this deep retrace, and if I do, I'll be okay with it. But very simple. So another 40-ish pips here, and we're up what 220 for the day, for the week even. It's pretty good. Still feeling a bit nauseous. I was given some antibiotics to get rid of this flu that I have, this stomach bug. So trying to fight back puking. Just burping it out. But yeah, it looks good on the weekly, and we should be headed lower. In terms of fundamentals, CAD CPI, that's surprising. It came out at the forecast. Building permits was actually a bit better, and then median CPI and trim CPI came out a bit lower for the CAD, nothing too exaggerated. President Trump is speaking today, so that's interesting. It's tentative, so it might be just throughout the day or at some point in the day, so watch out for that, guys, and that'll be pretty important. And then later in the day, we have this major event for us for our Aussie short, and that's the unemployment data. So unemployment change and unemployment rate. So in terms of jobs, they're only expected to add 8,500 jobs, and then unemployment rates should be 5.3%. Now I do think these numbers, well, at least I feel like this is accurate, but this might come out a bit lower because obviously the quarantines, people are not at work, people got laid off, and so obviously people are gonna be filing for unemployment. A lot of people are doing that in the States. And if you heard yesterday, Trump wants to give every U.S. American $1,000 to get by this hard time. So, and Canada might do the same. So, you're gonna have a lot of people applying for unemployment. So, if this prints out a 5 point, for the actual, if it prints out like a 5.2% unemployment, that's gonna take our Aussie dollar trade all the way down, even further. So that's gonna be good for us. And I'm pretty excited. We're already in profit, deep in profit. So what I'll do is, I'll put my stop loss in profit, in case this thing does come out better than expected, but I doubt it. Now Thursday, not bad. Pretty clean fundamental, other than some Swiss franc stuff. And then Friday, again, very clean schedule except for retail sales for the CAD, and it's down across the board, of course, because of the Black Swan event. So, pretty solid week. And then I'll talk about U.S. oil since that's the trade I took, and then I'll look at some pair recommendations. So this is the U.S. oil trade I took yesterday, and this thing's just melting. Just not much to say about it. I got in around 26,700, and where did it go? So this is the original idea. I just plotted up a week ago for the session, and then someone, Marco, I believe, asked, and then I gave him some insight. And then yesterday I entered short around 26.7 right here. and then I got it around 26,500, which is right over somewhere here. So it's a pretty. I was in the trade for a very short while, but I was kind of worried about this hammer, thinking it might retrace it deep. So I knew my entry wasn't the best, but you can see it actually went down even a lot more. I mean, it's at $22 per barrel. That's just ridiculous, right? So that's what happens when you trade with the news and with the trend. Good stuff happens, and it's gonna be one of those blockbuster weeks. Knock on wood. But yeah, so who knows where this thing is headed next? Probably $20 per barrel. But good week so far. Even though I missed probably about 70% of the movements. Yeah, 70%. You know, just because I'm not awake to either manage the trade or enter it. The trades that I do get to enter or manage, they're doing well. So that's all I care about. The portal. I mean, re-entry signals for NSD/USD. I mean, honestly, so for NSD/USD, go ahead and enter now, if you haven't already. And what you can do is adjust your position. So, you know, usually here I'd be entering maybe a 1 lot or 2 lot for this trade. For NSD/USD, NZD/USD, my bad, I'd enter a 2 lot usually here. But since I kind of missed this initial entry, and there might be a retrace, I'm probably going to enter maybe a 1.5 lot. So for you, maybe go around 40%, 50 to, you know, maybe 50% of your regular position. So entry is now, and then your stop loss is 0.60686 right here, and then your take profits every 25 to 30 pips. So I mean, right now we're over here, so I'll be looking to take profit 57818, and then maybe 57500. Nice psychological level. And then if you're looking for swings, so on my intraday account, I'm going to be targeting these two account levels, but for my swing trade account, I'm just going to be targeting major psychological levels or supports, and that's going to be, you know, 0.57 flat. Okay, 0.57 flat down here, and then 0.556. And then the final target down here. So I just set in trade and forget about these trades, and it just does the work for me. So I'll just type out a signal and send it through. Less confusion that way. But now, hopefully by now, you guys understand why I don't use pending orders. I believe every session I have at least one example of why I'm not for it at all. I'd rather miss an entry or enter late than get faked out and get stopped out immediately. So 0.57 818, excuse me, 0.57 500. And then TP3 and onward is for, you know, my swing trade folk. We're in a special time, guys, so you gotta take advantage of these swing trades. These swing trades are moving in a few days. You know, the movement. Usually they might take a week or a week and a half, but we're getting what we want, you know, in a day or two. So I see a lot of posts on IG of people blaming the losses on, you know, this event or this happening. I mean, we've had around 4 or 5 weeks to adjust to this Black Swan event. If you still haven't adjusted, then you can only blame yourself. But that's the signal. I'll send it through. These two, you know, swing. This is a swing TP, and this is a swing TP. And nothing is better than entering a swing trade and then closing it, you know, once it hits these major take profit levels. We've had that done for Aussie dollar, our previous short. And you can see TP3, and now this original swing short has hit all its levels, right? It's just that since it was choppy, you know, we want to secure profits. We had to, you know, exit and then re-enter again. So I'm gonna send this through, and I'm gonna have to send it on Telegram. I'll send it after the session. For Aussie dollar, very similar thing. Oh, Aussie dollar looks so good to enter. My goodness. So actually Aussie dollar is it's tough to re-enter because how big the move was. Let's see. You know, if you enter now, your stop loss. I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine, but still, I don't know. I'd rather not, just because the big movement's gone. You see, like, this is the thing about calling signals is, like, when you know a certain trade setup is, you know, not 2.0 or not 1.5, but you have the experience to enter trades knowing that's going to go there, it's fine. But when you have other people's money at hand, it's a bit of a different call. And that's why, you know, for example, U.S. oil yesterday entered without calling a signal because, you know, it was a trade I was comfortable entering, even though the R2R at that particular moment wasn't favorable. But you can see right now, if you enter short, I mean, you know, your stop loss is going to have to be a bit substantial because this is our last low. And so maybe I should, I mean, if you're willing to risk a lot, you know, a possibility of high drawdown, then I guess go for it. But that's what I usually do when looking for re-entries is see where the previous low was and then put my stop loss there and then keep the original target. So we're pretty close to that original target, but I mean, if you want to enter maybe a 20% of your regular position size and go for maybe a 1.4 R2R, then by all means go ahead. But you know, take profit levels for this trade are in you know, Telegram and Discord for you to choose which levels you want to target. But I've already entered this trade back again, and that's just because I know it's going to be going lower. So I'm fine with in certain scenarios to take that 1 to 1.4 R2R setup. Maybe the 1 hour can give us a better stop loss. I mean, I guess here's fine. But, you know, this thing could have a tendency to come up here, wick a few times, and then just continue going down. So, I mean, it should be fine. It should be fine. Especially if the unemployment data comes out negative like it should, then it should be great. So, yeah, go ahead and enter now. Entries now, and it's already dropping as we speak. But 1.7 for R2R, you know, you probably won't get better than that. What just happened? This thing just went blank on me. Okay, there we go. So yeah, go ahead and enter, and then take profits are the ones we assigned, but again, so we are at 0.58516. So the next one, take profit is 0.58305. The next one is 0.57500, and then finally 0.56800. And your stop loss in this case will be 0.59749. So very quickly, I'll put that down. I really wish I was in London, man. I really wish, because this is a lot of movements I just missed completely. Sucks. Anyways, 5-8. See, in my peak when I was doing my own thing, I was up during these hours and sleeping during the day. It all worked out so well. So this is the first take profit. The next one is 0.57500. Oops, 57500. TP3, and then 0.56800. 800 in stop loss, 0.59750. Alright, there you go. So this is for the re-entry, folks. Honestly, it's always better and ideal to get the initial entry. Usually my recommendations, if you missed it, wait for another trade. There's always so many other signals coming in. If not by me, there's 4 other providers holding it down. And you know, we have gain reviews of those members for people that are taking each signal from them and making profits. But it's looking good, and we're in profit. So yeah, any other questions? Let me go through them. There is a re-entry. You just have to control your risk. That's all that matters. Yeah, Marco is making bank off oil. Marco just signed up for a yearly membership. That is dope. We love that that trust you have in our service and that commitment. It's awesome. Retrace for pound yen. So another great setup, which unfortunately because of the volatility, it really moved without any kind of clear warning. But that's how pound pairs tend to move. So you can see for the pound trade we discussed yesterday, we wanted a 4-hour bearish closure, but this thing just already ate into our final take profit, and so it happens, especially with pound yen. We've been kind of getting blue balled for quite some time in some of these setups, just because the volatility is unmatched. I mean, this one candle right here covered a distance of 190 pips. Can you imagine that? 190 pips. Within 4 hours, within a 4-hour closure. Actually, even 109, yeah, 190 within one 4-hour candle closure. So that's the volatility you're dealing with. If we got lucky and it was like a mini bearish closure here, we would have got a nice entry down. But it happens. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, the reason why I don't enter based on the 4-hour time frame is because if you look to the left, you can see this 4-hour closure was amazing to enter short. But the next thing you know is, if we entered short, we got stopped out. But then again, this example, we printed 2 bearish hammers outside this level, and then we ended up falling. So, pound pairs are tricky just because of volatility. So that's why the 4-hour time frame is key for me. And you might miss setups, but the other 50% of the time you might get entered in a setup that ends up getting stopped out. So that's pound yen. I mean, I don't know if we'll get a retrace anytime soon. I think this thing will just continue driving down. Yeah, this candle might do a mini retrace. If it does come back up to the support, does one of these, does us a huge solid, and it comes all the way back here, I'll be looking for rejection signs. And then if I do see a rejection sign, I'll call a signal for us to maybe go back down here. But yeah, I mean, for us, the next thing for pound yen is probably watch for a breach of the support. Going to the monthly, you can see how valuable this support is. Dating back to 2016 and all the way across the board here. So, a break of this support is going to obviously take us down to these lows down here, and it's very simple. And you guys are probably thinking, if you're especially new, how is this trading so simple, but we're making so many profits? It's because it's simple. You keep things simple, you trade with the trend, you put in the fundamental analysis in it, and then you take out the emotions, and you're good to go. And you wait for and price action really is just reading the candles and reading the momentum and going along with it. So that's what we'll be looking for pound yen next. We're going to probably want a daily or weekly candle closure below this blue zone. As you can see in the past, we've never got that. We've had wicks in this area, but there's always a rebound. So if we ever do get a candle closure somewhere down here, we're probably headed lower like we've done in the past. Good question. CAD CHF and Euro CHF. So I've missed a handful of setups. Let me check CAD CHF. And nope, CAD CHF is also going well. Let me just, I don't know why TradingView's not saving my charts. Is someone messing with me? I don't know. It's one of the guys at the office messing with me. Let's see which broker I use. CAD CHF4, bearish closure below 0.07. I used OANDA. This is OANDA, and my trade idea is not there. So, okay, there you go. It is there. Cool. So CAD CHF is valid, but it's actually valid. Yes, nice. So we got our 4-hour bearish closure right here below this horizontal level, and actually we even got a few more candles that are confirming the bias to go lower, and I think entry could be now. I don't know. I'd rather wait. Because technically what I said in yesterday's idea is 0.67 thousand. If you look, 0.67 thousand, we didn't really get a bearish candle closure. These candles aren't really bearish, unless this one turns bearish. For example, this candle is not bearish at all. So this idea is actually, thankfully, we didn't miss it. We can actually get in. So we're going to be waiting for this 4-hour closure, because this one's not bearish at all. This is a bearish hammer. You can see, looking to the left, we did have a huge wick to this, right around this area. So you get your horizontal ray. I think that's one of the idea I said below 0.67 thousand is because of this level right here. And so right now we're struggling to break below this previous wick area, and for us we would want, this would be an adjustment to the trade idea. So we're going to keep the final target the same, and our entry is going to be a bit adjusted. Surprised I didn't pick up that area of price yesterday, but no worries. So we'll look for an entry somewhere down here, a bearish closure below 0.66600. Okay, virtually this next 4-hour candle closure. If it can close bearish, that's awesome. Right now it's obviously looking like a hammer, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna put an alert. Hopefully we get this entry, because again I missed out on 70% of the movement crossing down. So this is awesome. It's looking like it's pouring. It's kind of creating like a pouring movement. So it should start to break down, but this 4-hour candle closure is key. So thank you for mentioning that, Sheldon. They're still pending. Correct. That is right. Can chat admin or someone take your lead on setups during UK session? We have a UK trader coming along very soon. I think he might even start in a few days, I believe. So he'll be there giving setups, but I mean we do have other providers that give signals throughout the day, 24/7, that you can enter. But it's I mean, if you're awake during that time, the entry criteria is so simple. I mean, you just put an alert, you pop up TradingView on your phone or your tablet or your computer. You look at the candle closure. Is it bearish? 4-hour, 1 hour? If it is, enter. And then you have the chart, so your chart should already, the reason why I send out these charts is so after the session you can go on the, for example, the 1 hour time frame and plot the same levels that I have. So when you get the TradingView alert and you check on your levels and you see, okay, yeah, it did close below this level, I know where my stop loss is, I know where my take profit is, and then I enter, right? And you know RP likes to take either profits at, you take profits either every 25 pips or major key level, and the major key levels are the lines that I draw, right? So after entry, for example, a major key level would obviously be 0.65 thousand. But if you're a swing trader, then take your profits here. But if you're like me, I like to secure some profits. So every 25 pips for a swing trade like this, close 10 to 15% of your position. It's very simple. The whole point of this trade room is not to spoon feed you how to be a trader. That would be signals. That's what signal stuff does. And obviously when I call signals and I'm awake to manage it and call it, I will do that. But when I'm not, that's when you're going to build that independence. And since our strategy is very simple, I'm not asking you to calculate 5 EMAs and look for this crossover, but when this crosses over, this candle has to do this. No, it's very simple. You need to read the candles. Our Instagram has an infographic about bearish and bullish candle closures. I will get that infographic and I'll send it in on Discord. If I can pin it, I'll try to, or I'll just send it once and you can save it. But it's very simple once you have that tool of deciding what's bearish and what's bullish. But that's the whole reason why we've been trying to set TradingView alerts, send these charts in. So it's all basically you're given the ingredients for the recipe, and you're even taught how to bake it. How they do in Hell's Kitchen, where Gordon gets all the ingredients, he shows in front of you how to make it, how to do it. Now it's your turn to replicate it. But instead of Gordon only doing it once, I do this every single day for as long as you remember. People, someone just signed up for a yearly membership, so they want to see me do this every day for a whole year pretty much. So let's take advantage, and build on these skills. Right now everyone's social distancing, so now's a perfect time to kind of practice these skills, because once this pandemic passes, and it will pass, the market's going to be back to where they were. It's going to be a bit harder to predict where things are going. So good question on EURCHF. And if you feel like you're missing out on trades, believe me, I'm missing on 70% of the movement. For example, from all the trades discussed, the only trade I got was Aussie dollar and US oil. And US oil was a trade I went out of my own way to take. So technically I only got Aussie dollar. But I'm still happy, because once you've traded long enough, you'll realize that some gain is better than no gain. People fall into FOMO or fear of missing out too much, and they beat themselves up about it. But I mean, there's people that lost 100K today. There's people that probably got margin called and blew up their account today. So if you're sitting in profit, be thankful. There's portfolio managers on Wall Street, Bay Street that got fired because the portfolio went to shit because of the market. Be thankful because right now you're sitting in some profit. You know, I've been there where I've blown, $1,000, $2,000 account, and I'm sitting there, just empty. And now when you get some profit, you're thankful because that profit could have very well been a loss. EURCHF, I mean, we're waiting. The weekly candle closure looks good. We're still waiting for that 4-hour candle closure below this level. It still has yet to come, but it's looking like it's coming on its way. Our trading view alert is still there. I even show you where I put my alerts, 1.05250, and we're waiting for a bearish closure on that time frame to take us there. So swing short after bearish 4-hour closure below 0.5200, and so this is gonna be kind of technically a swing trade as well. But you can target intraday by taking profits every 25 pips. So if this thing does become activated, and it looks like it will during the day, I'll send in the signal. But yeah, this daily candle looks beautiful. Yeah, it gets easy. It just takes some getting used to be honest. And that is right. Not every day is a trading day. I'm happy with 25 pips, even though some of the setups, some of the guys in London are getting 300 for the setups that I call. If I got my 25 to 30 pips and I see blue and a positive, net gain at the end of the week, I'm happy. So at this point, we covered all the setups that we talked about this week, including the ones that are still pending and the ones that have been taken. We also talked about managing trades once you're in, and in case you miss it, how do you re-enter? Simple thing is, if you miss a trade, look for the previous low, okay? And adjust your stop loss to there and see if it's worth going into, But usually my general advice is there's always going to be another trade. Don't fall into FOMO. And we have 4 other providers for a reason. So in case RP's setups are not the correct time zone, or you just missed it, for example, like me, I'm in Eastern time zone. We got so many other providers, and all these providers have been tested by a few members who've actually shown their gains here using them. So I'm not the only one holding it down here. I have a bunch of other guys giving me support during the times that I'm asleep. So yours requested TA. Can I go over USD CHF? Oh, and gold. I want to look at gold. So by the way, guys, I post one trade idea a day on TradingView. So I posted gold yesterday. Let's take a look at how it's doing. If I miss this trade too, I might just damn. Oh my god, look at this. I mean, come on. I gotta start. I don't know what I need my sleep, so I can't stay up. And it sucks because I'm a night owl. During night, I'm vibing. I'm chilling to house music. I'm going off, but so yeah, this gold idea that I posted yesterday, very simple. And it's good profit. Bummer I missed it, but damn. So we'll look at USD CHF and gold and any other recommendations. I don't know why, but oh, there you go. So this is our updated chart. That other one was from 2019. Let's take a look at the monthly, get a good idea. And while all the other pairs melt against the against the CHF, US dollar is just dominating. I mean, if you look at this monthly candle, can you imagine that at one point in time, not too long ago, if the body of this candle was down here, that's essentially what this means. So sellers took this all the way down here, and then buyers just squeezed it all the way back, evaporated this thing like a candle, literally. And this is a pretty solid buy signal. The only issue, and I'd say this is the only issue, is because the fundamentals have kind of made it a bit hard to gauge, because last month's candle closure, this one right here, would be a telltale sell signal because of the huge wick to the top side. It's inverted hammer, and we did technically go all the way down here, so we did fulfill. If you just went on the basis of price action, you saw this monthly candle, and you shorted, you would have made all this profit down here. So technically, it did work out. So with that same thought process, we may have a push back up to the upside to this resistance zone, which is what I'm thinking. Because this is a huge support zone. If I just extend it over, you do see that we went into the heart of it and even tapped some secondary support down here. And so this is a pretty good sign. Right now we're testing some other resistance slash support right here with this blue line. So if on the maybe daily or maybe weekly we can get a closure above, then we can definitely fill up this wick that we've created. So it's kind of a nice change of pace for USD CHF. Many of the pairs against the Swiss franc are melting, but this thing is showing its dominance. So you can see the daily closures. We have a bullish hammer right here, and we have another bullish hammer off support. So this is a pretty good trade to enter long, just off this zone, right? Off these two candles. So you can see here the secondary support I'm talking about, just from the daily, from the daily movement. We spent the last few days of 2019 hovering above it. So I think Crypto Buddy asked what do I think about it. I mean, if you went long from here, then not only are you a genius, but you're also in good profit. And I'd probably take some because support can turn into resistance, so it might do a retrace here. But if you're looking for a re-entry, which I am intrigued to do, I'd be looking for a closure above, maybe on the 4-hour or the daily, above this level to take us higher. Some sort of bullish closure, like a bullish hammer, or just a big body bullish candle would work too, like this candle right here. So let's check the daily and the 1-hour, see what's up. So yeah, straight, I mean, even here was the best entry for us. So you had the push down, you had price come back up, and you had this nice bearish hammer, which is a nice buy signal, and bada bing, bada boom, you're up. So I put an alert here, see if it closes nicely above 0.97222, crossing up, and if it does, we're going to target the trading range between this level and this level, and target a gain of around 135 pips. So that's an awesome trade idea. Thank you for mentioning that. And yeah, we could get that closure today. So if we do, what I'd be looking for is identify the last low. So I'd probably go to the 1-hour. So on the 1-hour, the last low was probably right here with this previous resistance and this previous wick. You're just looking where price kind of stalled in the past. And so this is a previous swing high before we created a swing low and created a new high. So this would be our stop loss. Our entry would be right here. Right somewhere right here. Take profit. And then stop loss right below the wick. And it's a 2.23 setup. Obviously entry is not right now. I'm not saying that. So please wait for the 4-hour or 4-hour closure. Right now it's 11:40, so I think we can maybe wait for the daily closure. Wait for the daily closure, because if we enter on the 4-hour closure, we'll get stuck in the swaps. Because I know some brokers have some terrible swaps and commissions for the Swiss franc pairs, so I don't want that to happen. So we'll wait for the daily closure. So at 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll look to see where the candle closed, and then we'll go long based off that. So. And did this thing remove my alerts? It might have, so I'm just going to put it again. But yeah, so it looks good. Let's save this and I'll send this through in case you're wondering. What is next? Someone asked, gold. Yeah, so gold obviously is highly manipulated, highly affected by the Black Swan event. And at the start of the year, we did have a bullish bias, and we started the year at 1550. Which broker was this? Forex.com. So see, this is what I mean by TradingView not saving my charts anymore. So you can see this is FX, FXCM. Forex.com, actually Forex.com. 1 hour time frame. I'm on the 1 hour time frame, but my trade idea has vanished. And not only that, but some of my analysis. So I don't know why TradingView is not saving my charts anymore, but it's getting annoying. I'll try to quickly recreate what I saw. Wow, literally, that's pretty annoying. I have to ask them for some help. Let's see, 1511 was my first take profit. And then 1489. My bad guys, but this thing is way out of my control. For some reason they did this to me. And then next one is 1472 and 1455. Okay. 1472. Cool. Okay, and then the short idea was from here. And was the entry criteria 4 hour bearish closure below 1520. So let's go to 4 hour and expand this chart idea out. And okay, good. So technically I did not miss the trade idea, but it did come out to fruition. The 4 hour candle was just too aggressive. It clearly closed all the way to 1493 and then popped back up. So thankfully I did not miss this setup, but it's good to see it panned out the way it thought it would. Maybe I could have actually, even the 1 hour time frame I wouldn't enter because these are all hammers. So it was just a trade setup that ended up going into profit, but you got to practice good habits even in wins and losses. As far as how low gold can go, again, our major thing was, and you see our alert here, if it breaks 1450 and somewhere around 1447 we get that bearish closure on the 4 hour time frame, then we're going to be looking for mega shorts for gold, maybe to targets of 1300, 1200. So this alert's still there, 1447.98. This was just like one, it was a trade idea to post on TradingView, and another was just to see how gold will do without entering it, because it is pretty crazy right now. So hopefully that answers your questions. I'll let you guys know it was great that I was able to answer your pair recommendations. Today's live session. That's Marvin. In case you guys need a reminder later in the day, or if people are wondering where I discussed about these setups, it's in the live session. So, portal. Okay, Sheldon, this is an important question. Cool. Okay, let me start from bottom. These are the once in a lifetime type pip moves I haven't used, but I've been saying up for London. I can sleep next month. Yeah, these are once in a lifetime movements because it's very hard. I don't know. Instagram's filled with people like showing their losses and saying like it's not a good time to trade. Even Bloomberg is coming with articles. Investors be aware. I mean, if you're on the right side, what's the issue? We're not doing anything special here, and I mean this in complete honesty. We're not doing anything special. We're just taking things at face value. But yeah, I wish I had the luxury of staying up. But yeah, you can definitely relax next month. Hey, this Black Swan event, it's projected to take apparently 3 years to get over. That's at least what one German health official said. So we could have these type of movements for quite some time. Okay, so Sheldon has an important question, which I'll be happy to answer. I have hit my target with trades you gave, my weekly target. But the trades could go for more profit. I don't want to be greedy. I'm considering closing my trades and being up for the week with my target. What do you suggest? That's an amazing question. So basically, Sheldon said he's made his weekly target for the week. It's Wednesday, and basically he's like, hey, I've made my weekly target of whatever it may be, 5%, 10%. But my trades could go for more. What should I do? So if you're already in the trade, move your stops to entry or profit and let the trade ride out. That way it's risk free, and if you squeeze out the extra bit of profit, by all means go ahead. if you're not in any more trades and you're thinking, hey, I met my weekly target, what should I do? I'd do what you always do, and for me personally, it's the 3 loss rule. So basically, if I lose 2 trades in a row, the next trade I take, which is the third one, so after I take 2 losses in a row, I tend to take a break, maybe like a day off or like 12 hours, whatever it may be, depending on the day. And then if I find a setup, I'll take that one. If that third one is a loss, I am done no matter what. No matter how well the week has been, no matter how bad the week is done, I'm just been done. I'm done, right? But for example, since you're up for the week and you're looking, maybe you have a few trades entered, move stops to entry, and just squeeze out more profit. However, if you're in the week in profit and you have a chance to make more with other setups that I give or someone else or you find, what you can do is actually give it a go and put a stopping point. So, let's say your weekly target's 5%. You're up 5% on a Wednesday. Okay, let's say I send a setup or you find a setup of your own and you enter it. Okay, it turns into a loss. Instead of 5% for the week, you're up maybe 4.3. Fine. If, however, you get another losing trade and you're down to, let's say, 3.5, you have to put a stopping point. So let's say you're up 5% for the week. I'd be like, hey, you know what, RP, yeah, you're doing great for the week, but if your weekly gain drops to 3% or below, you're done for the week. I don't care if the next best trade setup comes out, you're done. And so what this does is, it first of all puts a cap on how greedy you get, okay? Because what happens is, for example, you're doing really well this week. You're up 5% already. You still have 3 days left to trade, right? And so let's say you enter those three, a few more trades. Instead of being up 5%, you end up 8%. When your average is 5% a week. So let's say your weekly average is 5%, but this week was so awesome you got 8%. That's great, because what could happen is next week it could be a bad week. Instead of getting your usual 5% gain, you're gonna get a negative 3% loss. And if you do the math, so you did 8% this week, you did negative 3% last week, you still ended with a 5% gain over the span of 2 weeks. So you just do the law of averages, you give it a go. Put a stopping point to how much you're willing to give up in the markets, right? Like I always say, the markets can only give so many pips to a select amount of users. 10% of people are profitable. So if you're part of that 10%, like we are in the trading room, don't get greedy. There's a certain point where you're satisfied with the gains, but there'll be weeks where you'll be down negative 6%, and to cover those arbitrary and random weeks of loss. Certain weeks you have to give it a go. Don't be scared with your money, but do put a cap hold on the risk you're willing to take on. So yeah, that's pretty good. And just taking partials. That's why I'm very keen on taking partials. Some profit's better than no profit. I always say it. But yeah, I think that's a good part to end the session off. Looks good. We covered everything, and so we have some setups still, pending, and I don't know, I keep trying to yawn, and then I'll cover them tomorrow if they get activated. So if they do get activated and the alerts are sent to my phone for TradingView, then I'll enter them and send a signal. But yeah, guys, be safe. Secure profits. Don't get greedy, and catch pips. Don't catch that black swan. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and happy trading.